ይስጥልኝ የተወደዳችሁና የተከበራችሁ ተመልካቾቻችን እንዴት ናችሁልኝ? ሁላችሁም በያላችሁበት ሰላም ጤና እንድትሆኑ ልባዊ ምኞቴ ነው። አፍሪካኛ ጀምሯል። አዘጋጅቼ ማቀርብላችሁ ሚሪያም ኪንዳስ ነኝ። የተለያዩ ምርጥ ሙዚቃዎችን እንዲሁም ከእንግዳ ጋር ቆይታ እያደረግን አብረን እንቆያለን። በዛሬ አፍሪካኛ ሾው ፕሮግራማችንም እንግዳ አዘጋጅቼላችኋለሁ። ማን ነው የሚለውን ደግሞ አብረን ከአንድ ሙዚቃ ቆይታ በኋላ አብረን ቆይታ እያደረግን የምንመለከት ይሆናል። አብራችሁን ቆዩ።
Good in the bad.
ሰላም ተነስተልኝ ማማ አፍሪካ
እንደምን ነህ?
እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን።
እንግዳችን ስለሆንክ በጣም እናመሰግናለን።
አመሰግናለሁ።
We're happy to have you as our guest on Afrikaanya show.
Give thanks. Very happy to be here. Long time coming.
Yeah.
Big up yourself for the works.
Yes.
Always. I will.
Yes. And so please introduce yourself to our audience. I know you as Jamaic.
I will.
So let's get to meet you formally and please introduce yourself.
እሺ ጃማይክ ይባል ሚካኤል ዮሐንስ my Amharic name. Yeah, originally coming from England. I've been in Ethiopia now as Ulet Ahmed, 12 years, like coming and going. Now it's like 7 years full time, we can say. Yeah, so I'm a teacher actually. In England I was teaching, also working in like media, radio, music, video production and these things. And through the mystics and the grace of the Most High, ended up right now in Ethiopia through Japlan. Yeah.
12 years, that's quite a time. So
yeah.
So what brought you to Ethiopia?
Yeah, good question. In the first place, what brought me to Ethiopia was, to summarize it, I can say like in England as children when we're in school, you know, we learn about Ethiopia, but not about Ethiopian history and Ethiopian greatness and everything. Actually, they tell us that, you know, Ethiopia is a poor country, Africa is poor, there is nothing there is no water even in Ethiopia, they say. So as a youth, when I heard these things, something inside my spirit like didn't really sit correctly. And then as a child, I also had the chance to travel to Africa. I visit Tanzania and different places. So, and I also knew people that had been to Ethiopia and given their testimony of being here. So the narrative that we were taught, it didn't match up with other things I'd heard. So naturally, I had like, there was some mystery. I wanted to find out more. I didn't know what was Ethiopia, who is His Majesty, about Rastafari, even reggae music at that time. But there was something that made me inspired about Ethiopia. And then actually, my brother, he had come from Africa. He had been here, my blood brother, and he had brought me a t-shirt. And on the t-shirt was a picture of His Majesty, and it said King Selassie, and I didn't know who that was at the time. But I loved that t-shirt. I loved wearing it everywhere, and I said, this t-shirt comes from Ethiopia. And like, you know, it ended up with holes in it and everything, and I didn't want to let it go. So from an early age, there was something inspiring me to learn about Ethiopia. So when I get older and I start to do my own research, when I start to listen reggae music and I hear the lyrics, specifically like Bob Marley at first, as many of us start with, and then, you know, going deeper into the lyrics, what's he talking about? When I hear about His Imperial Majesty, oh, I know this man, I had him on a t-shirt, who is this King of Kings? And you know, when I learned the real history, it was great inspiration for me, because then I start to question, so why did they lie? Why did they tell us bad information, lies about Ethiopia? So then I had the opportunity to come and visit and actually do some teaching. When I first came, I was teaching English in Debrecen, so big up all students and family there. So yeah, and then through the mystics, ended up now in Addis. Yeah.
So being here for 12 years, how do you see the change of the city?
Yeah, load of change. I can say give thanks to also be here and be a witness to this change. You know, that's a blessing and an honor for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like big change. I mean, monumental change. Ethiopia is growing so fast. You know, Ethiopia is rising. We know Africa is rising. So we know it's the time for the world to now see Ethiopia and see Africa, you know. So the development is great. And obviously, yeah, everything has to be balanced. So, yeah, you know. We
Yes,
give thanks.
Africa rising.
I will. I will.
True. So let's play one music video and then we'll get back.
Rastafari.
All right. ተመልካቾቻችን አንድ የሙዚቃ ቪዲዮ ጋብዘናችሁ እንመለሳለን። አብራችሁን ቆዩ። Alright, እሺ ቆንጆ የሆነ ሚውዚክ ቪዲዮ ጋብዘናቸው ተመልሰናል. So it was a nice music video that we played.
I will. Give thanks.
Yeah. So Jamaica, I mean I'm just going to keep calling you Jamaica because I'm used to that name on social media and we've met several times. So but why do you go with the name Jamaica?
Good question. Jamaica actually came to me, was given to me, I guess, by some brethren of mine. And because, you know, obviously, so my name is Mikhail. So for short, people used to call me Mike.
Mike,
you know?
yes.
So when it became Jamaica, it was kind of, for me at that time, you know, I was having some spiritual revelations and rebirth. So for me, it's supposed to represent, like, because obviously Jah being Jehovah, God Exabier. So like Mike of God, you know, like belonging to God, like, you know, so we are just tools for what the Most High wants to work through us on earth here.
Yeah.
But then also people interpret it in different ways because then they interpret mic like microphone. So it's like Jah Mike. You know?
Like that's what I thought too.
Yeah, you know, so that's what it's become. So and some people don't like the name also, but from we know that we are all Jah children, you know, so it's about showing who we belong to, who is our creator. We put God first, we put Jah first in everything. So instead of to put myself, Mike first, put Jah first, Jah Mike.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, now we got the answer.
Yeah.
All right. And about your hair, I see, how long have you had your locks?
Yeah, this is now 10 years since 2016, my looks.
So is it like a style for you? Because I mean, I don't think it's just a style for you, but some people do have locks as a style. So what does your locks mean to you? And how did you get into the Rasta culture?
Good question. Okay. My dreadlocks is kind of, as we know, like, it's for NI like a covenant, you know. Obviously, for most Rasta people, I think it starts with the Nazarene vow, when you take a vow of separation unto God, you know, and it's kind of a covenant with God to separate yourself from society. So it actually comes from, as we know, like in Ethiopia, Bahatawi tradition.
Yes.
In India, you have like the sadhu gurus, they wear their dreadlocks. So in many ancient culture, even in Europe, you have the Vikings and things. So many ancient culture, they carry their dreadlocks. And obviously, for me, when I start to grow it, like when I was in England, in Babylon, we can say. So like, as an English youth, to be going around with dreadlocks, it's kind of showing that, you know, we're not falling for the Babylon agenda. We're joining Team Rastafari, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a statement, but more of, it's, you know, to separate ourselves, you know? Obviously, we're humans, so to keep pure Nazarene vow traditions, sometimes difficult. So, but we keep it as our antenna, you know, our spiritual antenna to the universe. And like, for me, I've only been to the salon one time in 10 years. I'm proud to say that. So they're quite Congo Bongo at the moment.
Congo Bongo, Nati dreadlocks in Babylon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and how I got into Rastafari, I would say, from listening reggae music at first. When I was at high school, I get the Bob Marley CD, Legend, which is like the most known CD now. When you know reggae music, that's like too much played off the album. But it's like the beginner's album for many reggae listeners, So when I listen, like, rinse off Bob Marley album and start to study his lyrics and then discover other artists, and then, you know, we can't stop there at the reggae and dance and enjoy, but I wanted to go a bit deeper. And so I was like studying, I started to learn about Ethiopian history and really go deeper into like His Imperial Majesty and the teachings of His Majesty. And then it was very eye-opening for me. And I said, who is this man? Who is this King of Kings? you know, that the world tried to hide from us, but actually is like the biggest, most famous world leader who has done so many great things. So for me, I was very inspired, you know, by His Imperial Majesty and by this history and by the roots. And, you know, Rastafari teach you about the roots of humanity, teach you about how to eat clean and try to keep a clean liberty and all these things. So these things were very inspiring for me as a youth, a little bit lost in Babylon, I can say.
Yeah.
So when I had certain revelations about His Majesty and Rastafari and these things, it kind of
opened up.
I was
pulled
drawn
you
to that.
Yeah.
And give thanks to have the opportunity to visit Ethiopia, because many Rasta people don't have that opportunity, especially like the elder generation. So I always try to give thanks for the elders and, you know, the pioneers and those who have paved the way so that we as young generation can walk
carry
with our
on.
dreadlocks and everything like
They
that.
have paid the price, so obviously.
You know, so respect to the elders each and every time. Rastafari.
Yeah, so like being a non-African, for following the Rasta culture and having your locks, you know, most people, like the Rasta movement is mostly with the related with Pan-Africanism, freedom for Black people and such. So you following Rasta culture, is it because you love Rasta also? I mean, not Rasta only, but Africa. And what do you feel about this whole white supremacy and the African, you know, the thing between the two? Does it clash for you? And is there a challenge for you being, you know, following the Rasta culture? Like, do you get any
backlash?
Yes.
Yeah, good question. Valid question, because obviously Rastafari is a Pan-African movement.
Yes.
Chanting for Black liberation, the liberation of Black people in the West who have been oppressed for so long, and even here in Africa, with the things they do to keep Africa down and poor. So like, it's a controversial one, you know, because there are some ones who would say, you know, the movement is only for Black people and these things. But I think for I or for me specifically, one of the things when I first come to Rastafari was learning that, you know, the West, they teach us this racism philosophy and like try to make us separate. So when I find out that actually all of humanity comes from Africa, it made me realize that, you know, all of humanity started with Blackness, we can say. You know, the ancient African traditions and these things have gone throughout the whole world. But if we look at the roots and the roots of everything, we see that everything comes out of Africa. So like, for me, I just tried to kind of embrace that. And I was studying a lot of like teachings coming from Africa. We studied a lot about like the ancient kingdoms, Kush, Kemet, Nubia, Mali, Timbuktu, all these places. So when I learned about Africa and how great the kingdoms and the empires were and are, it very much inspired me because of the lies we were taught at school. You know, in history class at school, we learn about World War II, England and France. We never learned that World War II started in Ethiopia, you know. So when I learned these things, it's saying, yo, like, this is the real thing. Like, and also I had the opportunity to visit Africa when I was very small. And so like, I remember specifically, and I visited also St. Lucia in the Caribbean. So I was blessed to have those experiences. And like, for me, I remember when I went there, the people there, how kind they treated me as a youth. I was just like going about in the hotel or wherever we were. And like, they would, the staff and them always check for me. And like, for me, it was like, yo, when I come back to England and they try to say, oh, Africa has no food, Africa has this, I'm like, yo, but Africa has all of those things and more. Like, it has love. The people have so much love.
And resources, making reggae music. Yeah, what do you face?
Yeah, there are challenges. There are some people who are not going to agree with the message that we're talking. But I tried, like, even online, you know, on Instagram and online. If you see the comments and the messages that I get sometimes, won't go into it, but you get some people who their spirit is not satisfied. But I try to say to people, focus on the message that we're putting out and the works that's being done, you know. And
but what are you doing to let them know that you're on it too, you know, like?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I think especially for like so-called white or European Rasta people, it's very important to speak out on these issues And, you know, like, for example, right, just 2 days ago, I was reasoning with one Jamaican brethren from Shashamane, and he showed me that if he was to go on a platform in the West and talk about certain things, people might not take him seriously. Like, you know, of course they would expect Pan-African people to say Africa is the best, but they wouldn't necessarily believe it. But when you have other people now of other cultures and other things, starting to stand up and say Africa is the truth, then maybe, you know,
it could contribute in a positive way.
You know, and also, like, for me, how I can put it simply, some people say, oh, you can't be a Rastafari because you're white or this or that. But at the end of the day, we're praising a black God, you know. So it means, what should I do? Should I not praise the true God?
Just because
creation,
I'm not black?
You know?
No, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. And obviously, yeah, the white supremacy is a problem. It's a problem all over the earth. And I think for many of our brothers and sisters in Europe who carry their dreadlocks and chant Rastafari, sometimes they kind of push that to the side, you know. It's not like they like the music and they like the vibes, but then the Pan-African concept, for many of our European Rasta brothers and sisters, they don't always, I feel, sometimes that is swept to the side. So that should never be swept to the side, because the struggle is still ongoing, you know. And even up until today, we still have black people being killed by police and all of these things happening in the West. And nothing is ever done. So we have to be a voice for the voices that have been oppressed, and we have to respect.
So you're here also not just because you're not just a tourist or so, but you really love Africa and Ethiopia, and you are aware and you know what's up.
Yeah,
so you're basically here.
We're seeking the truth from the roots, you know.
Yeah. So I think that was a topic that was supposed to be addressed, because I'm sure there's lots of confusion within people.
Yeah, and you know, obviously reparations for Africa, we chant for that, you know. The West needs to do something to fix the damage, because that's the thing. We can't, a lot of people say, oh, but colonization and transatlantic slave trade, that was so long ago, so we have to forget it. But how
we
can
can't
we forget
it?
Yeah. Because until the damage has been fixed, if the damage is fixed, if there's apologies, if there's reparations, then we can start to move forward as humanity.
And so what do you say your role that you're playing as a British young man in Africa, in Ethiopia? What are the works that you're putting in? Not just the locks and the looks and the things, but what are you actually doing?
Good question. I would say, for me, teaching, like, education is a big part of it. And, like, coming from over there, like, I studied also in England. We done a course about these ancient African civilizations and that. So maybe to be able to come here, you know, all of the youths here, this generation, they want to go to the West. They want to go to England.
And you're here.
But instead we're coming here to say, no, let's build up Ethiopia. Like, this is the place to be. And maybe me sharing my love of Ethiopia with the youths here could inspire them to also love their country and things. But I wish to also always be doing more. You know, that's the thing, like, you know, we have to do more. We have to actually, as you said, we have to implement projects. We have to do things, not just talk, you know. And I think for me also, like, since I came here, because also, like, before coming here, I used to go to Fairfield House in England, in Bath, big up. That's the House of His Majesty. And so there's a big Rastafari community, Ethiopian diaspora community, and just a lot of people, a big community of people that love and respect His Majesty, but they're not necessarily old Rasta people, you know. English people, old people, young people who have been inspired by His Majesty's visiting around the world. And so I started to learn about, like, only since I've been here, I learned about, like, the Gideon Force, Sylvia Pankhurst, George Steer, Colonel Sanford. So these were all, like, English citizens that were actually, like, great friends of Ethiopia. So, like, Sylvia Pankhurst, she was named by His Majesty as the first honorary citizen of Ethiopia, and she's a white English lady. But she used her platform in England. She had, like, a newspaper and these things. She was fighting for women's rights. So when there was the war with Italy, she actually started to campaign to end these war crimes. She was really a voice for Ethiopia while the British government and these things were ignoring. So finding out about her and then wow, how she got honored by His Majesty and invited to live here. Because I also sometimes, you know, we're always going to doubt ourselves. Am I doing the right thing? Should I be here in Ethiopia and thing? But then when I see like, right, Sylvia, George Steele, these ones that came to help His Majesty.
Show you
and,
like they kind of paved some way.
Yeah, so I would always, if anybody wants to make a problem, I would always big up Sylvia.
Yes, so yeah, this was a nice conversation. Yeah. We're gonna continue after
and we
one
could
music.
Go deeper. We could go deeper.
We could go deeper.
I think it's good for now.
Yes. Okay, so let's get a music break and then we'll be right back. All right. እሺ ተመልካቾቻችን ቆንጆ የሆነ የሚውዚክ ቪዲዮ ጋብዘናችሁ ተመልሰናል። ከእንግዳችን ጋር ቆይታችንን እንቀጥላለን። ጃማይክ ሶ አማርኛ ለምደሃል አይደል? ሞክራል ካስባ እግር እንቁላል ቀስ በቀስ የእግር ይሄዳለች እንቁላል ቀስ በቀስ በእግሩ ይሄዳል በእግሩ I should know more because I've been here ብዙ አመት ግን you know I want to study I have to study now and Giz also Giz ጎበዝ
I would like to
Yes it's good ቋንቋ so like you travel around Ethiopia no የት ሄደሃል Which places have you been in Ethiopia?
In Ethiopia, ብዙ ቦታ. Recently, we just came back from Lalibela, like a couple of weeks ago. That's one of our favorite places. Big up all our Lalibela family.
በጣም ቆንጆ ቦታ ላሊበላ also my favorite place.
You know, like the peace and the tranquility. And when you go Lalibela, it's like silent, dimselem, and it's like that's what the Bible says about when you're with God. Like silence, you know, 1,000 years, 1 year is like 1,000 years, and like God is not rushing and noisy and
humble,
just still, you know?
Peaceful.
Yeah,
still,
so I like to go to these places, to be humbled and to be in awe of the creation of the Most High.
Yes.
And so Lalibela, we just came back. A lot of times we visit Lalibela. We just came from Bahida Rosso. Before that, Leila Shashmani. I don't go as much as I should, but we want to come and visit and connect with the elders more. But we've been going since 10 years and Mon Shashmani. Wando Genet, the best place in the world to wash your dreadlocks.
Fresh. There's a song by Sydney Solomon, Wando Genet and take a fresh.
Exactly. Big up Sid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where is Harar? One time visited Ejasagoro, His Majesty's
the birthplace.
Nice. So that was very mystic. And like, traveling in Ethiopia, so it's like pilgrimages, so it's like mystical things happening, and sometimes things don't go to plan, things don't go on time, things change. So it's like, for me, Ethiopia really teaches you patience and also how to humble yourself to like, not our will, but the will of the Almighty, you know, because religion is in control, and like, we're not in control, and sometimes he will plant in us the idea, okay, I have to go Lalibela for Sani Makil. But we don't know what he has waiting for us and planned when we get there. So I give thanks to the Most High to be able to travel and see these places. I would encourage everybody in Ethiopia, whether you're visiting or whether you live here, please travel the land and see the
what's
beauty.
There
and, you know, so many things. And where else? Arbaminj, Walaita, you know what I mean?
And how about the foods though? Which food is your favorite?
Which food? Of Ethiopian food?
Yeah.
Good question. I love a good bayonet. You know what I mean?
Are you vegan, vegetarian?
Yeah, I'm vegetarian since 10 years now. But I started to eat fish when I came to Ethiopia.
Yummy,
especially in Bahida, the best fish at Mikhail Asa, the best fish in Ethiopia. So I love Asa Shekla and Shuro Lala. Shuro Lala. I don't know if you know that one.
No, I know Shuro Kagabino.
Do you know Lala? Huh? Shuro Lala.
What's that one?
It's from Bahida.
Okay.
So it's a mix. It's halfway between Wafram Tegabino
Okay,
and like
Lala.
Shuro Faces.
Yeah, Lala.
So yeah, when you eat it, it makes you go la 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 because it's so nice, you know. So I love that one. And I love like, you know, souf. You can drink like sunflower seed milk, like in Ethiopia, a lot of natural food. So for vegetarian, it's
very healthy.
Good. Yeah, you know.
So what's your passion? And what do you do basically right now?
My passion is sharing good messages and sharing knowledge and trying to teach. So whether that's teaching in the classroom, which I'm not currently doing, or whether that's teaching through our works, through our creative works, through music, through video making, and through these things. So we never stop teaching, no matter what we're doing. So my passion is like teaching and sharing and learning.
What do you
also.
teach?
Anything that's worth teaching and learning. I teach what I've learned. So just sharing knowledge.
So it's not in a specific school or something?
In a specific school, I used to teach English, creative writing, reading and writing and speaking.
Okay.
And specializing really in like creative writing, writing stories, writing poetry, expressing words in these kind of ways. And I've always loved that writing and reading and creative writing things.
Interesting.
So like, I think in this time, the social media thing has come because, you know, I used to write for like some magazine, we used to have different platforms, but in this time, you know, journalists have become limited to making a social media post, you know, and like radio hosts have become limited to doing a YouTube program and these things. So, but we have to try and keep up with the times. So right now, I think my social media platform, that's become the main platform where we just put out stuff. We try to...
Where it can reach to people.
Yeah, around the world, you know. We try to share about Ethiopia, promote Ethiopia, giving a positive narrative because, you know, the world has too many negative narratives. Even online, there's too much negativity. So sometimes if we can just put some positivity in the mix,
yeah,
maybe,
and now
you
it's
know,
like
it will make
it's
some
also
difference.
they can also view it because of the city, how it's built. It's being different right now. The roads, the parks, and different things on the making.
Definitely.
So
and give thanks. I
that
think,
helps.
Yeah, and a lot of people actually have been connecting with me online about visiting Ethiopia. You know, like you say, when they see the city or see
they're
how
like, oh
things
wow, is
look.
this Ethiopia? Some people be like, they don't expect Ethiopia to be this beautiful. So.
Exactly. So we encourage people to come and visit. We work also in tourism, like going different places in Ethiopia. And give thanks. I'm blessed to be able to do that as I was once a tourist, you know what I mean?
Now I'm a guide.
You know, now we're able to guide through Jah guide us. So, and right now, like I would say at the moment, it's not through my choice. Sometimes I don't choose how life goes. Jah just kind of directs you. So I would love to be teaching still in the classroom, but right now, in the past couple of years, I found myself more focused, more at home in the studio of whether it's video editing, or working on music, or working with other artists and different things, but more in the creative side at the moment. So we've been working on a lot of music in the past couple of years.
Speaking of music, we can get a music break. You can dedicate an artist which you like, and then we can talk about your music career or your music journey as well. So who's your favorite artist?
Who's my favorite artist?
I mean, as a musician, it might be hard.
Yeah.
Because you can...
There are many. I would have to make mention of Brother Vaughan Benjamin, the Akebeka, which is actually a Ge'ez word, which comes from Metzaf Hinod. So there's one artist, Midnight, from Virgin Islands.
Yeah, Midnight.
Yeah, and the things he sing about, the messages he deliver, you know, like no other reggae artist that I've heard. Very inspiring.
Jaina
everybody. The eyes are the lights, you know. Yeah. So we mentioned Midnight, so we're going to play you a track from Desiree. She used to sing with Midnight. This is a brand new track called Hold On from her new album, and this one is all about hold on to your faith, hold on to something substantial and enduring, you know, don't just always hold on to your phone. So big up Mama Africa.
Let's go. እንመልሳለን። ኦልራይት እሺ ተመልካቾቻችን እስካሁን ከእንግዳችን ጋር ያለንን ቆይታ እየወደዳችሁት እንደሆነና ጥሩ ቆይታ እያደረጋችሁ እንደሆነ ተስፋ እናደርጋለን። So Jamaica.
Yes.
So let's talk about your music journey. I mean, have you released any music videos or audio, and who would you like to collaborate with? And
the music journey is a nice one. I don't like to call myself like a singer or an artist or those things. We're just creatives, and music is one of the platforms. Like I say, I'm a writer before anything. So what I love is to write lyrics and like express through music, like word, sound, power, sharing different messages and things. So we have a few tunes out already. We have a tune called Lalibela Maribela. That one is available on all platforms, but we're also working on the video. So big up Face of Lalibela and all of our Lalibela family. We have a very nice video on the way, hopefully before the end of 2026. So that's what we were doing when we were there. We were there for Seni Mikhail. So we wanted to capture some of the celebration. And it's not all about me just there singing, you know. We want to show the Lalibela vibe, what's happening
in Lalibela,
in the mountains, sitting with some Bahatawi and holding a vibes and meditation. So look out for the video.
We'll be looking.
Yeah, there's another video out, Home of the Brave. You know, they always talk about America as the home of the brave and the land of the free. But it's actually a brethren of mine one time come up with the concept that perhaps Ethiopia is actually the home of the brave and the land of the free. You're Jiganoch bit, you're Jiganoch Hager.
Rah.
Big up the Urbanoch each and every time.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the title of the song? The music?
This tune is called Home of the Brave, Land of the Free, Cradle of Humanity for you and for me, Ethiopia.
Okay, so let's check it out. You said it's a short video.
It's a very short one.
Haile Selassie sets an example too. With his own hand, he fires a mountain gun at the target, half a mile away.
That was actually nice.
Yeah.
Konjana.
Give thanks.
Berta, keep going.
Ishi.
And what message would you like to pass out to the audience that are watching Afrikaanya right now?
Thanks, Mama Africa, for having us. You know, I would say to the people, please stay tuned to all platforms. We have a lot of exciting works coming. We have a lot of music in the works with some of our family here in Ethiopia. So I'll make mention of like Brother Baki, Ras Blue, we got Ras Abel, and big up like the Hailinyas, you know what I mean? Big up our brother Hebu, you know what I mean? We have a lot of exciting music coming and visuals. We're working on a project with Kongo Nati about the Book of Enoch, like so many blessed works we look forward to sharing. So stay tuned for that. And what I would say is big up all the youth, all the young people, you know. In Ethiopia, I think there's more young generation, you know, than elders. So this is a young people's country and the future belongs to the youth. So just please try to stay focused and like love your country and love yourself and like bring forth manifest great things because Ethiopia is great and you are great. So yeah, and give thanks to Mama Africa for having me.
እሺ ተመልካቾቻችን እንግዲህ እስካሁን ከእንግዳችን ጋር የነበረን ቆይታ ይሄን ይመስል ነበር። አፍሪካኛ በሚቀጥለው ሳምንት በተመሳሳይ ሰዓት በሌላ ቦታ በኢቢሲ መዝናኛ ላይ ይጠብቃችኋል። አንድ ቆንጆ የሆነ የመለያ ሙዚቃ ቪዲዮ እንጋብዛችሁና እኛ ግን ከዚህ እንሰናበታችኋለን። መልካም ሳምንት።